This is a very simple issue. The answer is no, no, and no. Vulcan says they have the rights. They don't have the rights to anything. This is something that we have to fight all the way to the end. We can't jeopardize the health of any of our residents. An EPA study came out in 2002 that already studied areas where there's a lot of gravel pits. Azusa, Baldwin Park, El Monte, Irwindale. What did they find? They found that 35,000 residents were afflicted with asthma. 35,000 residents. Now you can't tell me that Vulcan does not affect the health of our residents. It's a no-brainer. We can't allow them to expand. And that's it. Yeah.
I'd like to add that we can rebut, right?
Well, that was an all candidate question.
Well, this is the rebuttal. It isn't just Vulcan, however. Keep in mind, it's also Cemex. We have to find ways to abate this program, to diminish this industry, and to eventually weed it out of Azusa. So it's a two-pronged approach. It's not just Vulcan, it's also Cemex. We have to look at both. But it starts with the Vulcan mining expansion, and we need to nip it in the bud.
And I'll finish my 15 seconds. People ask me, look what they've done. I ask you, look at what they've not done. Thank you.
Okay, this is a question directed at Mr. Macias. While serving as city treasurer, what wasteful spending did you observe, if any? And as a council member, how can you correct that?
Thank you, Ms. Finley. One of the things I saw in my 4-year tenure as city treasurer was a couple of contracts given out to consultants. Things like, for example, a study whether the city of Azusa should go into the cable TV business. We gave somebody $100,000 to study this. Everybody knows that we cannot compete with people like Charter, Time Warner, even Microsoft. These people have millions and even billions of dollars. You didn't need to have a chemical engineering background or a rocket scientist background or anything of that nature to know that we do not belong in this type of thing. There are certain other projects that we got into that we had no business in. One of the items was, of course, not only the cable TV, but also looking at one of the things that did make sense was, of course, the bottled water venture. But of course, that goes back to the same thing. We were competing with Sparklets and other people. Everybody knows that Azusa has the best water in the valley, of course. But of course, we have to look at certain things as far as if it makes sense or not. And of course, are we in the business of cable TV business? Are we in the bottled water business? Or are we in the business of administering your tax dollars as efficiently as possible? That was my MO when I was city treasurer. Does it make sense? Is it being spent wisely? And is it in the best interest of the city of Azusa? Everything that we did in the finance department and spearheaded by me as city treasurer kept those three mantras while we spent every tax dollar. We need to make sure that we look at things and that we listen to the people and see what it is they want. So wasteful spending, sure, we had a lot of consultants. We had a lot of contracts given out to studies on development that went nowhere. We need to make sure that we listen to the people and not necessarily what we think would make sense as far as a non-fruited business. And when it comes, that's where I come in. I bring to the table what I think is missing is business savviness. And with all due respect to my colleague, he knows how to audit it. I know how to make it.
All right.
There's 2 rebuttals allowed. Anybody like to rebut that question? Or we can move on to the next.
The next question is directed to Mrs. Chagnon. Hope I said that correctly. If I didn't, I apologize.
You're good.
Recently, 60 homeless people were evicted from camping in the riverbed. What can you, as mayor, do to help the homeless?
Thank you for that question. We're asked that question quite frequently. And in fact, we not only have 60 people that were evicted from the riverbeds, but we also have homeless that are in front of CVS Pharmacy every night, like Ramona. We have others that are behind Blockbuster.